North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has arrived in Beijing as China's President Xi Jinping has been holding talks with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Putin hailed what he calls unprecedented ties between the two countries. Their meetings come as leaders gather in the Chinese capital ahead of a massive military parade marking 80 years since the end of the Second War. That happens tomorrow. For more on this, I want to bring in CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio. He's joining us from our London bureau. So, massive military parade expected tomorrow, Ramy. What are we expected to see? And what are they trying to send as an image by having all of them in Beijing? What are the Chinese hoping to send to the rest of the world?
Sure. The message there by all of them, we're talking about officially presidents, prime ministers of countries from across Asia through to Central Asia. But, you know, I got to say, notably, for critics at least, several of these leaders are called strongmen, and they're called dictators. For example, you just mentioned North Korean leader Kim Jong Un just arrived in Beijing in his favorite, his armored train. There you see him there, still from state-run Korean media smiling there. You can think of it like Air Force One, but on rails. That is how he likes to travel for fear of being shot out of the sky. But the last time he was in Beijing, 6 years ago, notable considering China is North Korea's biggest ally. We've also got Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian in Beijing. But along with Xi and Putin, got to look at these four together. This quartet is coming to be known, at least in some critical circles of Vlad, as the axis of upheaval, sort of a play on the axis of evil from some Hollywood movies, let's say. There's also Myanmar's military chief and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The optics of what we're seeing on the screen, what we will see on the screen as well tomorrow with these leaders, can definitely push this kind of narrative of China trying to push it as this new, well, a resurgent, let's say, counterweight to American power, along with bringing the so-called global South. President Xi in the past couple of days has been saying that they got to push back against hegemony. And when you hear that word, that is a code word for Washington, for the U.S. So tomorrow, we expect to see China's force projection. We've already seen preps over the past days and weeks there. I expect to see new warplanes, defense systems, new hypersonics, possibly a missile called a Guam killer, because that's supposed to be able to hit Guam and the U.S. Pacific base there.
All right. Lots of good picture moments, obviously, for the Chinese leader. But other than that, is there anything substantial that's expected to come out of this meeting that could have ramifications for the United States or the West?
Right. Well, one thing has already come out by way of energy, Russian energy in the form of natural gas to China. And this is in infrastructure along with more gas itself. These were agreed earlier today. That's coming from the head of Russia's Gazprom, that is the state-owned gas company there, to build this new gas pipeline from northwestern Siberia that would then transit through the country of Mongolia and its capital, Ulaanbaatar, and then end up someplace in China. This is called the Power of Siberia 2. And basically, this is going to be massive. It would stretch more than 1,500 miles. Could be one of the biggest gas pipelines in the world in terms of capacity, almost the level of Nord Stream 1, which connects Russia and Germany. And got to remind people, this comes as Europe, we know, has slashed its imports of Russian gas since Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. So those new Chinese purchases will help offset at least some of the losses that it's seen. But aside from that, we should keep an eye on what happens with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un. The question on my mind, will he commit more troops to Russia's invasion of Ukraine? Also, if India's Modi will get even closer to Putin and Xi after Donald Trump threw 50% tariffs on Indian exports. So we got another day to go to see what else might come out of this.
Yep. Really, really good questions and excellent reporting and analysis. Ramy, thank you very much.